Yes, boys, DG back with another video, and as you can see from the title, we're talking about NoFap, and we're posing the question: is NoFap still a thing in 2026? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have social media anymore, but what I do know is that looks maxing, this whole movement has basically taken over the internet, and you've got 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds, even 20-year-olds plus following it religiously and doing all these things to enhance their looks. But NoFap is kind of what looks maxing was back in the day. And if you don't know what NoFap is basically abstaining from. That's what it is. And I first came across this about 10 years ago. It was fairly new into the space. No one really understood it. There was very small level of data about it, but people were claiming to be getting more looks from women, to feeling more attractive, to even some people were saying that they were flying. I'm not even joking. People were saying that. But 10 years later, have we really narrowed down what NoFap is? Kind of. I mean, what I believe NoFap is that the energy, which is the sperm itself, that's sacred energy, right? That's energy that we can use to fight this life, to attack reality, right? And some people can't do it. You know, it's easier to just fall into the trap, to feed into the temptation and ejaculate. It's easy to do that. It takes discipline, a very disciplined man, to abstain from that. And I think that's what NoFap really is. I think it's abstaining from something that isn't normal. You know, I don't believe that ejaculating is normal. I actually saw a post from Oxford University where they were encouraging men to be doing it more often. And to me, that doesn't sit right. There's something weird about that. Why is Oxford University encouraging men to be ejaculating more, right? That just doesn't sit well with me. Think about it for a second. Why are they doing that? I can go on and on, but to put it bluntly, it's to control men, right? They want men to be addicted to doing that, because what happens when you do it once, you do it again, you do it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and you keep on doing it every single day. If you've got dreams, if you're someone that wants to achieve something in life, then you're not going to do it, right? If you're going to be in your room with your wet wipes, blinds closed, door firmly shut, laptop open, that's all you're going to be doing. And it's a bad habit, right? And what does a bad habit do? It's like a gateway drug. It's like weed, basically. It spirals, you know, it brings in other bad habits. So NoFap really is something that you can master, right? And once you master it, you completely forget it's a thing. You know, I know people who still do it, and I'm not trying to say that I'm cool or I'm this Sigma or whatever. I'm just pointing it out that I nowadays forget that that's even a thing. You know, I never even think about doing it. You know, it's never crossed my mind. You know, sometimes I forget that people do it, you know, but after 10 years, I can say that, because at the start, it wasn't like that. It was a struggle. But if I had to give any advice to anyone, then it's part of the process. If you're actively doing it and you're failing, but you're doing it again and then failing, eventually you're going to come to a point where you just surpass that. You know, part of NoFap is not really thinking it or seeing it as a timeline thing. It's more so a lifestyle. It's something that you don't do. So yeah, going back to the title and the question, is NoFap still a thing? I don't know. I feel like people don't really talk about it too much. Looks maxing's taken over. And it's interesting to see where this goes. I don't believe in looks maxing. I think it's absolute horse shit, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. It's 2026 and that is just the world we live in right now. But If you've done NoFap before, if you're thinking about doing it, I would highly suggest it. I might make a video on my experience with it and give you some suggestions and takeaways, because yeah, when I was 18, 10 years ago, there was a lot of channels just chatting absolute BS about it. Um, Nowadays, it's sort of forgotten, but I still recommend it to people. There's people out there that will tell you, oh, nah, it's BS. You know, you can do it just in moderation, but I don't think so. I think it's BS, put it that way. So yeah, that's it from me. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be uploading every single day. And yeah, if anyone's got any topics they'd like to cover, let me know. These things just pop up to my head every day, and it's something I want to talk about and record myself and just put it out there. So yeah, let's see what tomorrow brings. All right, peace.